You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Hit the Floor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Hit the Floor After Show.
Hey, what? AfterBuzz TV fans, welcome to the season finale episode for Hit the Floor, the highly anticipated episode. And yes, James LaRosa, you took it home with one to write down in the books. I'm your host, Ali Kona Bradford, and I am joined by this guy over here.
Hello. Hi, Ali Kona. Hey, Jason Carter, everyone. Back in the hot seat. Hit the Floor finale. Season 2 was one that was epic, off the charts, amazing, breathtaking.
Winner takes all, but who really took all? Quick, before we get into the episode, want to apologize. We weren't here with you on Monday, but that's because we went to the season finale party for VH1 and got some really nice exclusive interviews with all the cast, which will be up soon on AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yes, and big shout out to James LaRosa for calling me out for not knowing the phrase "drown bitch."
Nice.
My bad, James. But you know what? For season 3, I will wear a "drown bitch" hoodie all season until we coin a new season 3 phrase. So that's my challenge to you, because he was like, were you not watching the show? I was like, wait a minute.
First of all,
backstory.
For anybody who doesn't know the term, for Hit the Floor fans, y'all know that Derek Roman had said, drown bitch.
Right.
And Jason.
How did I miss that?
Didn't even get it, but James had the T-shirt on and everything.
There were several people at the finale party, as we were saying. We were there. It was fantastic. Food, stars everywhere. VH1 did a live after show there. It was amazing. Got to chat with the cast, and some of them were wearing Drown Bitch T-shirts. Yes. And I was like, is that a new Tommy Hilfiger brand, or is that trending right now? Do I need to get a Drown Bitch T-shirt too?
Apparently, you do.
Right. So as I'm talking to the creator and the mastermind behind Hit the Floor, James LaRosa, I'm like,
just about to disown you.
Or walk away, throw a drink on me, just fire me. You can never watch Hit the Floor ever again. So that's what went down. But tonight's episode, the finale,
Big episode. One of the things I wanted to talk about, I told you before, is I felt like Sloan and Pete had this little 007 team, and you can argue with me if you want, but here's the thing. It was nice. I think they're really trying to press the fact that they're now solidified, like they are together, their whole, let's try again. And now they're like connected at the hip. What?
Their name is Sleet.
Sleet. That works. Sleet.
Hashtag Sleet, Sloan and Pete. Sleet, or it could be
Plone. Yes.
Plone. But I agree with you. Ali, I agree with you in regards to that they're trying to make it work. I'm just saying 007, really? Okay.
Yes. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I like the fact that Pete was telling her, like, everything she wanted to do. First of all, he only found out because Raquel told him what was going on. It's not like Sloan actually opened up and told him, but he had her back the whole entire time. Like, you're not doing this without me. Right. I like that.
Man, I did too. Sidebar though, what I love is how everyone's ex is still in the picture. Lionel, you have Zero, who's with Yelena. It's like a
mess.
It's like a love triangle. It's like a love series of shapes going on.
I said it's like a pentagon,
or whatever. But Pleat. Sorry, Sloan.
I like Plone.
Plone. Okay.
Hashtag Plone.
Well, let's paper scissors rock it then.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
So you're Plone. I'm Sleet. Okay,
ready?
Here we go. Boom,
1, 2,
boom,
3.
boom.
Oh, what?
Boom,
1, 2,
boom,
3.
boom. Okay, so now it's going to be
Sleet.
There we go. Hashtag Sleet. So
fine.
Yeah, they had a slight 007 camaraderie, companionship going on there. So I will give that to you, Miss Bradford.
But at the end of the day, it was a 00 fail because it was a complete setup. Dude, Lionel, seriously, like I said, she was the winner of everything. She got the team. Mm-hmm. She got her way. She's
said
large
smart.
and in charge. Yeah.
Smart.
But is she really that smart? Because Yelena did plant the idea in her head.
Right. I think that they're definitely a dynamic duo. But the thing about Lionel is her bark is not as loud as her bite. Yes, she did come out on top right now. Oscar is behind bars because we'll get to the fact that he was, incarcerated. But that to me, that part of the show really didn't pop to me, because I was like, okay, the butt. You know,
Yeah.
the end result, the end game. So
Yeah.
I wasn't too surprised by that. But I will hand it to Lionel for looking fashionably amazing while being so underhanded and cunning.
You know what? But here's the thing. When she went to, walk down the aisle, I'm like, this girl's wearing black.
Which was hot.
It was, but I mean, come on now.
It's a funeral. Yes, it was a funeral. It was a funeral for sanity. She lost her baby. Remember when she...
Did you notice how she was telling Pete? It's almost like she was hinting at maybe, all these times I saved you and somebody was there for you, and it would be nice, if, somebody was there to save me.
She needs some...
And he was like, yeah, no.
No, not
I'm
happening.
good.
What's her name? Lionel. So sorry. I'm at one of those days. Lionel needs to realize that she'll never get another whiff of Pete.
Right.
It's a
But do
wrap.
you really want one? Like, I mean, how many other women has he slept with in the show that are all connected to each other?
Or that he sees on a daily basis.
Thank you.
That and then sees his daughter.
And Stallone's just like, it's cool, it's fine. Like, you've slept with her, but it's okay. We're good.
We have history.
We have history.
We did heroin together 20 years ago on the arena floor.
Well, and I'm really surprised at how cool, calm, and collected Asha is about that whole situation. Like, yeah, mom and dad are back together. I support you, but it was just that, okay. Like, no kind of anything.
Any kind of, yeah. Asha, Asha is awe-inspiring sometimes with her character. I feel like sometimes she's just very lackadaisical and maybe aloof. And again, it's a character, so it's all written that way. But I agree with you. She is just like, okay, mom, I support you. You did heroin? Cool. You want to get back with my dad who looks
Awesome.
nothing like me?
Yeah.
Boom. Go with it. Have
Yeah.
fun. As a matter of fact, let me help you out the door.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed, too, at the wedding... I was trying to figure out what the whole arrangement was between Kyle and Derek, and then when I actually had to watch it twice, and the second time around I had heard Kyle say that pretty much at that point she was going to leave LA.
Right.
But that was smart too, because the only way she could really get out of
As if she left LA.
Well, not even that, but she had to have Oscar fire her.
Right.
Like, the reason she did everything as far as Derek going up to Oscar and being like, yo, one of your girls tried to do all this, that.
No one is safe from Oscar, even if...
Like, what can Oscar really do? He can hire a lot of people and he's got money, but at the end of the day, people are afraid of you. So once you're in jail, I'm like, oh, hallelujah, I don't have to deal with you anymore. I'm not going to help you.
But it's like, it's a mob situation because money talks,
bitch.
though. Drown, bitch. But you see it all the time in movies, on shows like Oz on HBO, like, the people work from inside out.
Right.
So Oscar, money still talks. You can still be very rich from behind bars,
Don't they, like, freeze your...
Like Oscar, you have accounts in other places. You have
That's
money
true.
offshore,
Good point.
So, and in the big scheme of VH1 dramas, anything is possible. Oscar's probably, he probably has two of him, cloned himself to do the dirty work,
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Kyle, that good observation, because I almost missed that. And then now that you're talking about it, I was like, true story.
Yeah. Yeah, no, literally, I had to rewind it, too, because there was I have to leave L.A., and I was like, wait, where? What? And I rewound, I was like, oh, it's just her cute little accent, okay.
Yeah, you gave accent realness right there.
Oh, did I?
It was
How'd
believable.
I do?
Believable. Give a round of applause for that one. It was believable, yeah. There's actually a round of applause button.
We're like...
He's no.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you. There you go.
Thank
you. Boom. You get a cookie.
Thank you. I'd like to attribute that to the fact that I grew up in North Carolina. True story. Anyway, moving right along.
Yeah, the wedding, I will say... Lionel always looks smashing. VH1, James LaRosa, hair and makeup on the show. You guys do a fantastic job of keeping her snatched for the gods, because she is hands down super sexy.
Yes. She's giving me like exotic Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, she's giving me like dark, like Maleficent vixen.
That works. I could see her as no offense.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, okay. So let's talk about the game.
The game. The one scene.
The one scene. But you know what? For anybody who is a basketball fan, we didn't get to see it. Here and there we got teases, but we actually got to see the championship game go down. And I noticed that all three of our major players did have a slight moment to shine.
Right.
For sure. But before we talk about the big moment in the game, of course, there was the dance.
The dance. It was very classical ballet and jazz.
Very technique heavy. Very technique heavy.
Yes, which was good. I think with the choreography on some of the episodes, sometimes you may miss some things because they edit it. It's very quick. It's very fast. And they give a whole segment of the show to the choreography, so you want to make sure you really absorb and take in what you're watching. But I think that the finale, they saved the best for last.
I agree. I was watching in the same thing and taking my notes. I was like, the music was perfect. It's on point. It's very dramatic and well together.
And Asha was told, that you're going to choreograph, and she had to make sure that this was that.
But here's the thing. Okay, so supposedly she choreographed that.
But
why was Yelena running the rehearsal? Thank you.
Wait, what's the question?
What?
Why was Yelena handling rehearsal?
Yes, yeah.
And then tells them, hit the showers, girls. Do girls hit the showers?
No.
I didn't think so.
I mean, we shower. We just don't hit the showers together.
Like they're in boot camp or something.
Right.
Very weird.
You know what though? Okay, but before she told Asha off, I felt like, oh, she's like a little kitten all of a sudden. She's not she's not season 1 Yelena. Like, everything that's happened with Terrence has totally just changed her
She's not
chi.
a total bitch anymore, but, there's a half bitch there.
Yeah. Because, even when she was telling the girls last season, she would have been like, snip, snap, this, that, whatever. And when she was just like, okay, girls, this, that, and whatever, hit the showers.
Right.
But when she had her conversation with Asha, I love that Asha's starting to grow a little bit more of a backbone. Like, throughout the whole season, we've seen her change.
Right.
She's not on Yelena's level just yet. Yeah, but
that level of bitchiness takes time to acquire.
Hey, by the way, P.S. Thank you.
And also, you need to start doing that because people are noticing that you're not dancing it. However, getting back to what you said, though, about Yelena, we were talking off camera about how the villains are the most complex characters on the show. And one of the thing about Logan Browning's character, Yelena, on the show is that she has been able to show us different sides that have been authentic and been very, very believable. And, she's so good at being bad, but she's also very good at being open and loving and caring.
But that's new to her. But that is new, or at least this season, it's new to us. But I love it.
I do too. I think having those different sides makes her more accessible, relatable, and more human.
Right.
She was a bitchy robot prior.
But can we agree that this show started off very Asha heavy? In season 2, it's almost like the tables have turned. And yeah, we see Asha, and she's a big part of the story. But it's almost like Yelena is coming to the forefront of the show.
Well, that's any ebb and flow of a show. You know, over time, what show? Like Grey's Anatomy. It starts off with the title character, but it evolves because you have to. The other characters are buoyant too. You can't have them as stragglers. And also sometimes, like I said, the ebb and flow of a storyline. It's not going to be the main character heavy. There's other, there might be an element in someone's character that really shines and really, resonates with the storyline.
Right.
So, and it all depends on the actor too, because sometimes actors surprise you, and then writers are like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of this. Like, let's incorporate that element to it. So, I think Asha. For the first season, you have to establish the characters.
Right, of course. And
so now that we're in season 2, they're already established. Now we have to create stories.
Right.
And so, what better way to do it with bitchy characters?
Right. But going back to the game, let's stay on track a little bit, But going back to the game, great game. Obviously, we knew, I don't know about you, but I was like, okay, I know at some point Terrence is going to hurt his knee. Like, there is no way he's going to make it all the way through the entire season.
I would have loved for his leg to have broken, and burst through the skin.
Did it, though? It did. I think it did. I rewound it a couple of times, and I don't know if maybe they just put something on his shin, because it's his knee that's injured, right? Mm-hmm. But if you watch it, and you guys can freeze frame it at home, it looked like there was something white on his shin, and it kept happening so fast that I couldn't figure out if his bone was supposed to be protruding or if my eyes were crazy.
It could, you know what?
I mean,
it's fair game. Fair game. Leah, in the comments below, do you think Alicona's,
No, seriously, no. Tweet me. Tweet me at Kiss My Passport. Maybe you caught something that I didn't catch.
Well, that's what we love about our AfterBuzz. They do let us know about things but yeah, it was inevitable. Terrence was going to go down.
Right.
The Terrence ship was sinking.
Yeah.
But what better way to have your ship sink than at a championship that you win?
Yeah, and he's the one who got the team into overtime.
He got a ring.
Side note, by the way, and we talked about this last season, but it's always fun to watch the cast watch the actual episode because, they don't really know what's going to happen. But the cool thing, because everybody is so tight-knit, if you notice, every time someone had a dramatic scene, like when Terrence had that scene, everyone's by Rob and they're like patting him on the back or being like, yeah. And even when Derek had his moment with his mom, everyone's doing the same thing. It's like they're taking turns giving everybody their props, and it's just really cool to watch.
Yeah, because the acting's not easy, as you know. No, acting is definitely not easy. Yeah. I mean, I act like I'm normal every day, and that's really hard. But right? They're very. The cast of Hit the Floor, they're very close knit, and it's a really great culture that they've cultivated there with each other. It's very family, it's very warm, it's very encouraging, it's very positive. That's why the show is so good. I thought here's the thing about watching basketball games on TV shows that are dramas. I remember One Tree Hill?
Yeah, of course.
Basketball, right? It was always like slow-mo, shot in, defining moment.
Boop, 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 boop.
What would have made Hit the Floor finale even doper is if they would have lost the championship.
No.
Yes.
But maybe, but you know how many people would have been angry and upset and sad?
Good. That's what television's supposed to do, incite emotion. It's exactly what television's supposed to do because it could go either way. I just prefer to go the unpredictable route because then it's just like it builds it gives ammo for even more storyline down the line,
right?
Like if they lose.
This is but this is what I think. This is what I think, though. I think that just gave season 2 closure.
Well, of course,
you know what I mean? So that way you can move on to the next one because there are certain season finales where you leave these huge cliffhangers. And granted, Asha being fired is a big one, but sometimes when you do certain cliffhangers, it's just enough to irritate you,
right?
Versus make you go, yeah. So it's like you have to have this balance of some of you going, yeah, and other parts of you being like, ah,
right.
And to have them have a bunch of bad stuff like lose a championship. We find out that German is the murderer, and Asha got fired. It's like one bad thing after another. You got to have something good in there.
Right, but after all, it is a drama.
Well, yeah, but can I be happy sometimes?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can be happy. Look, Oscar went to jail. Happy, defining moment.
Yeah, but I mean...
Lionel got the team. Good golly.
Oh, you know what? Happy moment for me, and we talked about this too, is when Jude gave that amazing speech to Zero.
I agree.
It's so everybody. You have been in that position. I mean, I would assume like almost everyone has had that moment where you're with somebody, or maybe not, that you really care about, and you're putting all your effort into it, and they're just giving you this much, like just a smidgen. And I love that he had said brain fart. I was so passionate. Gideon. I love that he said to Gideon, I am tired of getting percentages from my dad, from you. I want it all, or I want nothing.
Right.
And when you put that type of ultimatum on somebody, if there's any inkling of emotion in there somewhere, you're going to get a reaction.
Right. Well, what was good about that scene, and when we're talking to Brendan and the actors, when we're interviewing them, we talked about how it was. I had brought up the fact that it's an LGBT, topic, storyline in the show. And, but ultimately, though, it's about relationships in general and just being true to yourself. And what was good to see about Jude in that episode was that he was his dad abandoned him emotionally.
Yeah.
He's been the yes man for so many people. And for him to... for him to actually just accept who he is, because that's what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
He was totally accepting who he was as a gay man, and not just his love for Zero/Gideon for Gideo, but just I deserve the best from whoever I'm with, and it was very refreshing. It was very well written. I told this to James Rosa as well, the creator of Hit the Floor, those are Emmy moments in television.
Yeah.
Emmy moments in television, because that happens every day. Relatability. People want to watch TV now and see themselves in the characters and see situations that they've been through and see these characters come out on top, and it gives them hope. I know that sounds corny as hell and it sounds really like Disney and cheesy, but it's the truth though. Yeah. That's why we watch TV, because we can escape our lives and hopefully see something in ourselves and the people we're watching on TV. So by far one of the best scenes.
I was saying, piggybacking off of that too, not only do people get to live vicariously through maybe some of the great things that happen in other people's lives, but with something like that, you don't know who at home that could affect as well, because somebody who is going through that situation might be like, you know what? That's me. Oh my God.
Right.
And turn around and maybe do that same thing that they need to do, whether it be cut someone off or give them an ultimatum or whatever the situation may be.
Right. It was a great moment, and I'm glad that it wasn't, sweetened up or less than what it should have been. It was perfect. It was a perfect television moment. And then Jude aside, Zero's reaction, but by him revealing who he is, and honestly, from the time they made out and the few episodes that actually had that storyline really come to fruition and be at the forefront, I knew he liked Jude.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it about him that made you feel that way? Well, okay, really quick to cut you off.
Sure.
The first notion that I said, is when he bought, I know this is so materialistic, but when he bought Jude the car, I was like, okay, wait, hold on, really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah. Because
none of my girlfriends would do that for me. I mean, they love me and all, high five, but they would never buy me.
Right. Yeah, I knew. Well, first of all, they're both really good-looking men. So in the world of Hit the Floor, why would you not want Jude? You know, he's beautiful. But I just felt that there was a vibe they had together.
Give
you know
me that shoulder roll.
That shoulder roll. There was a vibe they had. I don't know, AfterBuzzers, let me know what you think. In the comments below, tell us what you think. Did you think that Jude, that Zero was actually crushing on Jude initially before the kiss? I was kind of feeling something. Maybe I'm crazy.
I missed it. I totally missed it.
I think the kiss made it real, but it was just like, there's something, because again, who buys a guy a car like that? You know, your agent.
Yeah.
I didn't buy my agent a car.
You know what though? Okay, so but even when he was into Yelena, I didn't buy that one either. Now, whether or not Zero is bisexual or gay and just hasn't come to terms with it, I don't know.
Right.
But I will say with Yelena, all I kept thinking is she's a pawn. Like, yeah, you guys are having a good time, you're sleeping together, but as far as the actual really liking her,
right. There's no chemistry.
Yeah, but. And one of the things I meant to actually ask Brent Antonello when I was talking to him is, because they found out, I believe, halfway through that this is where the storyline was going. But even in earlier episodes, something about Jude just was off for me. And it was, I don't know if it felt like he had a secret of some sort or something, but nothing about who he was trying to be seemed real.
Right. Well, because it wasn't real. He was playing a part.
Exactly. But that's what I wanted to ask him, because he didn't know that at the very beginning. So I don't know how that even happened, but it was just so genius that to be an actor, to play that you are something that you're not something that you are something, that's where you get really complex into stuff like that.
They're fantastic actors. Also, just some comic relief at the wedding when the usher is flirting with Zero and he was like, he has crabs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of hot too. I was like, oh, he's jealous. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Judio.
No.
or
Zood?
No, or Good.
Where's the G?
Gideon and Jude.
Oh, excuse me.
God,
okay, we're using real.
Slow.
Excuse me.
Slow.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about Sloane real quick.
Okay.
And Sloane's whole. So, let's get to the point. Oscar was arrested, ladies and gentlemen, because Sloane gave the flash drive to the LAPD.
Yeah.
And they found out, and Oscar's henchmen that worked in the LAPD couldn't save him. Like, dude, it's a wrap on you. Sorry, I tried.
Right.
Sloane Hayes did it, but he made sure he got that in there.
Yeah.
Like, ratted her out.
Of course, because he doesn't want to have to deal with the wrath
Sloane
of Oscar.
Darnisha Hayes. I gave her a middle name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I kind of wanted that to go down different.
Was it too in your face for you as far as revealing that Sloane?
Well, because the way they made the preview seemed like it was going to be this whole that was the moment of the episode, and it was so not the moment of the episode.
Right.
The best part of that was when Oscar walked past Yelena and she's like, I told you shouldn't have hired her.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, I was going to say, shout out to Don Stark, because I felt like he did such a great job.
Right.
And
he did.
He was on that 70s show, and he had more of a goofier demeanor in that character. So it just really shows the versatility. And, I mean, obviously he's got a history, and he's worked a lot in his career, but it's just cool to see him in this role of somebody so scary, because even the look in his eyes
was vengeance. And girl, you are going to go down. You are not safe on any corner of this planet.
Yes.
I am Oscar Kincaid.
You couldn't think of a middle name, could you?
No, I was gonna call him Oscar Jenkins or something.
Oh, I mean, okay.
But the whole Sloane, I don't know. I guess with all the work they put into getting Oscar, because Oscar was picked up for trafficking and money laundering, not for the murder.
Well, yeah, but once they turned over the microphone, that's when they were like, well, because on the microphone it did reveal that he had something to do with Mia's murder.
Right. And what would have been cool is to have Rick Fox.
Where did he go?
He just disappeared. The husband of the...
he's on the run. That's why.
I know. But for him to have shown up or been somewhere in the vicinity would have been, great too.
Right.
Your wife was just murdered.
Let's talk about that, though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. And again, another really cool moment. I know, and I'm sure y'all at home were freaking out because I didn't think it was going to be German. And even, again, with the cast, I'm sure they posted videos online. If you hadn't had a chance, you could probably go on VH1.com or one of their Instagrams if you'd like. But we were sitting in the back row, and all the cast is sitting in the front, and there's a big screen. We're watching the season finale, and as soon as you see German's face, it's like everybody jumped out of their chair, and they're grabbing their head.
Pizza everywhere.
They're pulling their hair, like, oh, and I was doing the same thing.
Right.
I mean, who did you think it was going to be?
I believe I was okay. I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't know who it was gonna be, but I wanted it to be Asha. I wanted it to be Asha because.
But what would be her motive?
Okay, but we didn't. What would have been German's motive until we found out? It could have been anybody. But the thing about German killing Olivia, and the thing about German killing Olivia is that he was the last person. He had the last person you thought because
he's so far removed from everything in the Devil's world.
Exactly, and that was the genius thing about the finale. Now, like we talked about off camera, I think if they wanted to even kick it up a notch, they could have made it been a super clandestine character like Kendall, the reporter.
Yeah.
Or who else was there or even one of the, I don't know, Entertainment Tonight hosts. They could have brought in a whole new unnamed character that were like, who's this chick?
Right.
Or they could have brought back Mia. Mia could have not been dead.
That would have been
there's so many ways they could win, but that's all theory. Now, the reality is German killed her. It was fantastic. And then his reasoning for doing it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is even though at the very end of the episode, I know they reiterated his little speech and what have you, but even the first time he gave the speech to Asha, and they're, considering at the beginning of the episode trying again, and he's like, I've been through so much that you don't even know. And I was like,
You're right. And then about how he's overprotective of her, and then seeing them
okay, when we're talking about what's his motive, protecting Asha because whatever is in that envelope and all her mail goes to his house. So obviously Asha had no clue that these red envelopes are going on, right?
Right.
But is it really that much to kill Olivia? What could you possibly have on Asha?
I mean, is her credit bad? What? That's what I was thinking. Does she have children in another country that she's not? What could she have done? Because she was so innocent
compared to everybody else.
Well, she was a newcomer into the gig last season 1.
Yeah.
Her mom was the heroin addict.
Right.
Asha was just like, hey, I'm here. I want to be a devil girl. But I will say that them walking away together was almost like, it was creepy.
Oh yeah, but I loved it.
I did too, because Asha's fired. She's with a killer.
Yeah.
And she is on her own path of kind of craziness now because she's been fired, but she's been she's, like you said, she's acquiesced and to this new found confidence and power and sinister nature.
Right.
So just them walking away was like Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Very Bonnie and Clyde. It was. I was like, ooh, I got chills. Like, what are they planning? Or is he gonna be the super villain and she's in danger now?
Right.
So many things.
Okay, if you're willing to do all these things for Asha, if you just found out that she got fired and Yelena is the source for all this, right?
Is she next?
Exactly.
I mean, are we going to be cooking her bunny and single white female?
Now, did you think though? Okay, because one of the things that Sloane had said when she was about to fire Asha is like, what I have to do is really cruel and this, that, and whatever. I mean, was that really cruel to you?
No, but it's to protect her.
Yeah. Well, not even that. I think that part of the deal is because Lionel, when she had called in Sloane and they had the conversation, and she's like, thank you. She had this whole little speech about thank you for being so compliant. Like, thank you for finding something that I so obviously placed.
Plain sight.
Thank you for doing this, that, and whatever. And hey, guess what? I get to keep his seat warm. And so Sloane
for however long.
Yeah. And Sloane is like, yeah, what's in it for Yelena? Because Yelena gave you that idea, right? And at the very end, she pretty much alluded to the fact that, the terms are you have to stay here. Okay, well, why would she want Sloane to still be here, right? But the other part that she didn't say, and we cut to fade into black or whatever, is I think Yelena was the one who said to Lionel, hey, make Sloane fire her own daughter.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
Of course,
because okay, I thought you were trying to say that. Yeah, okay.
Said, and also, but see, here's the thing, though. Yelena found the packet of, and so I'm sure that, she delivered that to Lionel, whatever. But, just the irony of everything was that the writers were so keen on was fantastic because she's like the one place that you felt so safe,
right?
Is she basically put her in her own personal hell,
right?
And you can't leave. It's like she's in purgatory. It's like you're safe here, but you're under my thumb, and I will make sure that you will hate every single day here. But leave here, and you're even in more danger.
Right.
So what's the lesser two evils? And we see. Yelena Terrence, she has her happy ending with Terrence.
Yeah.
But, I think in season 3, because Yelena's also doing the narrative at the end, there's something's brewing that Asha's not safe either. Because even though she was fired, she said she has to bounce. Well, she's still in the picture. German still has a job.
Right.
So there's just all these different... You talk about a cliffhanger. There's a series of cliff... It's like freaking Grand Canyon.
Right. I feel like because we're talking... one more point, and then I want to get into predictions because I think that can go on for a little bit longer just because we are at season finale.
Right.
But the last point I want to bring up is the fact that, we now have a new pair of fiancés, if you will.
Yeah, Kyle and Raquel.
That was very clever and very cute, and I liked it. I like it because that's just like...
Would you do that for somebody?
Absolutely.
I would
got your
for
back.
$10,000.
Oh, I wasn't going to put that up there, but...
I need things.
I will give you a high five for being real.
You gotta, it's going to be industrious.
So anyway, see how strong he is. You're my finger. But yeah, I thought it was really cute, the fact that she was willing to do that for her, because obviously Raquel was really upset. Yeah. Kyle's problem's gone, but, Raquel is still chilling like...
I know. Well, with Miguel.
Miguel.
I will never let you near Miguel ever again. Miguel. La, la, la. Yeah, but I thought it was cute. It was great. It was a nice moment on the show. It was cute. It was just like, she's like, the kiss.
Yeah, and none of that, no more of that. That won't be happening.
Yeah.
That's what she had said.
I don't know. I think there should have been some tongue involved. Just some tongue.
Just a little.
What are we missing anything after Buzzers? Are we missing anything?
No, I feel like we went through everything, but sometimes it's so hard because we watch it fresh and then just come right on air, so it's a little bit.
Well.
Anyways, let's just get into predictions because again, there's so much because of the cliffhangers.
Cliffhanger.
Yes.
Wire hanger. Go ahead, you start.
Okay, so I feel like with this whole thing with Asha being fired and her, again, traveling down that path, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be her and German, but I definitely think Asha is about to stir a lot of trouble because there's no way she's just going to leave the Devil Girls that easily. But because Yelena is so, girlfriend mode, and she'll probably be nursing Terrence back to his health next season, it's room for Asha
to move in.
Exactly.
Because Yelena will have her bitch guard down, and Asha will... It's like Heather's. When Heather number 1 died, Heather number 2 sprung in her place.
How old are you?
I'm
just kidding. Have you guys seen Heathers? Because I've never seen Heathers.
Well, what rock are you living under? Heathers is the
original.
Didn't
that come out in the...
88. However, there is DVD and Netflix, and Heathers is the original Mean Girls.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So, yes, Allie, I do think that could possibly happen, but... Okay, predictions. I predict that we need a name for Asha and German.
Sherman? No. Jersha.
Ew. Okay, Jersha works. I like that. No, it's too close to Dersha.
Yeah, that's true.
What about
Amen.
Boom. Okay. So, Amen. There you go. Hashtag Amen After Buzzers. I do think that they will become a team of sorts.
Yeah.
And they will work together, but I do predict that German will reveal to Asha in season 3 that he was the killer of Olivia.
But do you think that was an intentional, or do you think that maybe he was going to Olivia to say, "Hey, look, this isn't right. La 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 la. Let's talk about this." And maybe there was, exactly. There was a scuffle, and it was just an accidental push of, "Oh my god," because. He didn't... Well, here's the thing. He didn't look distraught, but he didn't look evil dwelling over the banister either. Right. So it's really hard to...
gauge.
Yeah.
So
really?
Sorry.
Really? Am I boring you?
No, it's been a long day, people. No, but I agree. I mean, he looked very... But see, there we go, Allie. He didn't look... He didn't look anything. He looked very calm and very just like, it happened. And people that are like that, some of the worst killers in the world, have that same disposition. So
This is just the beginning.
I'm thinking German is a force to be reckoned with in season 3, and also he's now a coach.
Right.
So that could also come into power. Could also come into play where he could also be against Pete. Because let's keep it real, Pete was kind of weak.
He was drunk half the season.
He wasn't a heavy hitter this season.
P.S. Okay, is it really realistic though that he was a bit of a drunk, and then all of a sudden, Sloane comes back into his life, and she accepts him back, and then he's just clean.
Yeah, because once you go black, you never go back. I mean, that's what happened. She had that black magic, whipped it out on him, and was like, boom, and he was like, okay, I'm done, and that was that.
Oh,
That's how it works. Look, I mean,
okay. Thank you for the 101 education. I appreciate that.
It happened to me a couple years ago, and I'm still, I'm so thankful to that one person who really helped me out with that. And look at me now.
Yeah. So anyway, going to our next prediction.
I do predict that we will. Okay, I don't have a prediction, but what I would like to see, and I actually talked to James about this in the interview, is we need a new element to come to the show that's outside of the Devils in the arena. We need another team or another.
Yes, I agree.
A nemesis.
Yeah.
There's no
even another like dance team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like to push them a bit more.
The antithesis of the Devil Girls.
Yeah.
The opposite. Or something better, like a competition. There's it's kind of even though things are not all happy, but there's resolutions.
Right.
They may be negative, but there's like, okay, this is done, this is done, this is done. So now that leaves the door open for another element to come in, or several elements to come in for that matter.
Right.
So I'm hoping Riders of Hit the Floor that's something that may be in the works.
I think that would be a really great
story.
Yeah, yeah. And if we could have some people that are a little bit badder than Elena, like it'll totally blow everybody's
mind. It could be like
mind.
Meryl's Place, let's have like
one. You know what's funny is that's how I describe the show to anybody who's like, "What's Hit the Floor?" I'm all, it's like NBA meets the professional dance team. And it's Melrose Place.
For sure.
Okay,
how old are you?
You know what? Boo! Get out of here.
No, but yeah, I mean, that'll definitely be cool. And what about, I don't know, Sloan? I think Sloan and Pete will be okay, but I do think,
You think they're going to be rock solid? Like, they're done, they're good, it's like a done deal. Let's get remarried.
Well, here's the thing.
What are they getting married now?
Lionel's in charge now. And so I think that trifecta is going to be drama. Lionel's ahead the HBIC, and there's Sloan and Pete. Lionel loves Pete. So, it's and Sloane's basically Lionel's bitch.
Right.
So,
P.S. Did you catch the fact that when they were about to say their vows, she's standing there with Oscar, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to sign the prenup. I ran out of ink. Oops."
There you go.
Duh, that's how she got everything. But it's just funny how she said it right before they had to say their vows in front of everybody. So, of course, what's he going to do? Stop. Hold, please.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Give her some credit.
Oscar. Emmy.
I'm like, Oscar
Golden
for
Globe.
TV. I don't think
whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
Okay, so basically, I think that wraps. Is that good for your predictions? I'm good on predictions. So, you guys, thank you so much for joining us this entire season for Hit the Floor. We had an amazing time, and also look out for some of those interviews that we were talking about that should be up soon.
Awesome.
And until then, we will see you on season 3. 3?
3.
I said through. You will find us on season 3, and you can also, between now and then, tweet us.
Yes, I was gonna let
you go first.
Okay, well, you can tweet me at JJCForever on Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram at the Jason J. Carter, and also on Facebook at the Jason Carter fan page.
Basically, just Google Jason Carter and you'll find him.
Whatever.
So, I'm Allie Kona Bradford. You can find me at Kiss My Passport, or also on my website, AllieKonaBradford.wix.com/television host.
That's, whoa, wow.
You know what? Hush, at least it's only one website, okay?
Wow.
It's a one-stop shop.
It is. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. We love our AfterBuzzers. Tweet us, leave comments in the section below. Until next time, boom, that's how we roll. See you guys later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
High five,
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.